Hey everybody, I hope you are doing well. I am Afefe with Touch by Tarot and Beyond, putting on my spirit guide oil as I get ready to read with you all. Gonna do a political reading, check in with you all today. And for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I am a tarot and oracle reader. I channel from the guides around political topics, but also a lot of spiritual growth. So check in with me. I do a variety of videos, astrology, new moon, full moon, lots of picker cards that people really like. Getting ready to do one a little later today as well on karmic lessons that you need to know. So keep your eye peeled for that. But today, right now, I woke up you all to the news. Let me get my palms ready. I woke up to the news that none other than Barron Trump, son of Donald, is going to be a part of the Florida delegation in Wisconsin for the Republican National Convention in July. Now, why is that surprising, or why does that matter? Outside of the fact that, the main thing, let me back that up. Spirit is saying, put it right. How long have we heard how assiduously um, Melania has worked to keep Barron out of the limelight? We have also heard that even during the Stormy Daniels slash hush money trial that Trump is undergoing right now, that one of the reasons that Melania is so upset is not just because of all the dirty laundry being aired about him, Trump sleeping with Stormy Daniels, but because she does not want, Barron was a baby when this happened, and she just doesn't want Barron to really get immersed in these kind of stories around his father and around their relationship. Okay, so she's done and even when he was in the White House, when Trump was in the White House, Barron stayed tucked away. We really, of all, when we think about different families who have been in the White House, and the exposure that we've had to their children, Chelsea Clinton, the Obamas, certainly Biden's children, Hunter, God bless him. um, but Barron, I can count on probably three fingers how many times I saw images of Barron while Trump was in the White House, or for that matter, since he left. So in the meantime, he has sprung up like he's got to be, 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", something like that. He's really, really tall. Turning 18, about to graduate high school. We heard Trump hoop and holler and scream to Mershon that, he's being punished and he won't be able to attend his son's high school graduation on May 17. In fact, it has been cleared and he will be able to do that. However, it's also interesting that he has a campaign stop scheduled that day. I don't remember if it's in Wisconsin. I don't remember where it is, but it ain't in Florida. It ain't where the graduation is taking place, right? Where Barron's graduation is. So we all know that was a bunch of nonsense. But now, knowing that behind the scenes, however this has been developing, now that Barron is 18 years old, of voting age, he's now being pulled into the Trump fold, full time. I would love to know, gonna take a look at how Melania is feeling about this, because clearly it's a campaign stunt to get Trump to appeal to younger conservative voters. So the more he can get Barron's face out there, or people like Barron in that age group, but certainly his son, why not? So Barron's gonna show up as part of the Florida delegation at the convention alongside Donald Jr., no surprise, Eric, no surprise, and Tiffany, no surprise. And of course, we know Lara Trump, the daughter-in-law, Trump's daughter-in-law, is now co-chair of the convention. So this is going to be Trump full. Noticeably absent, from what I understand, will be Ivanka. I think Ivanka got some get right. Nah, I can't give her that. Can't give her credit. Spirit's like, put that back. She ain't got no get right in her. She's not remorseful. She's not. But she does understand. She realized she had to proceed with caution when she got pulled in, by Jack Smith's crew and questioned, etc. When she realized she does not want to find herself swapping places with her father behind, being charged with crimes. So far, she's managed to avoid that, and I think that's one reason why there's this distance. Even though they are all, this whole enclave is in Florida. Ivanka and Jared are running their business out of Miami, if I'm not mistaken. So they're all right there together within hollering distance of one another. But I want to take a look, you all. Let's go in and take a look at Barron and the degree to which Donald Trump is grooming Barron politically. If in fact Barron is just going along with allowing himself to be used, to be used as a campaign crutch, or if this is in fact going to be, Donald Trump, Eric Trump, and now Barron getting pulled into his father's mess. Spirit, what's Barron's deal? We have the Nine of Pentacles. So he recognizes this is some loyalty. He's been, we've heard all these stories lately about Trump's take on loyalty and how he's written about that. Barron has bought into that. He's looking at his older brothers, for better or for worse, and he sees their loyalty, and he's feeling a lot of pressure to be among the clan in that regard. I got the Tree of Life here, which actually is a bonus card in this deck. It's not a typical tarot card, but I'm going to use that because what Spirit is saying, it's confirming the Tree of Life. This is part of what's happening with Barron is he's being pulled not just by Trump, but he's had conversations with Eric and Don as well. I'm feeling he's had conversations with Tiffany. It is the family as a whole that's pulling on him. My hands got a little sticky from the spirit guide oil, so we put a little rose spray in case you all were wondering what I was doing there. All right, let's look a little further. We have the Two of Pentacles. Ostensibly, he's split. He feels really split between his mother and his father, but he is leaning. His mother, he feels, has his back. She has been, from all accounts, Melania has been a really protective and strong mother figure with Barron, but he is starting to leave the nest. And he's thinking about his future. They're talking to him a lot about his future. Here's the Ten of Pentacles. This is the family clan. This is exactly what it is. And he is a part of this family clan, for better or for worse. And I think now that he is coming into adulthood, he's recognizing this is a part of his legacy that he's inheriting, and it's being spun to him in a way to say, this is look at what your father has done. Look at the power your father still wields, even though he's no longer president. As he runs for president again, look at the real possibility that your father could be president again. And therefore, what do you want to do about it? Where do you want to position yourself in that? Now, I'm also getting a hit that ultimately, after the election, or maybe prior to, Barron is going to go away to school, away. Am I right about that, Spirit? Is that what I'm seeing? Ten of Swords. He wants to. Eight of Pentacles. He wants to, but I don't know, you all. He may feel, check these out together. Between the Three of Swords and the Ten of Swords, coming with this would be his higher education, the Eight of Pentacles. This would be his pursuit of higher education. But there's a lot of, I get it, thank you, Spirit, in Florida, in this whatever school that he's been in, he's been in a certain bubble. Barron has been in a certain bubble. And for him to go away to school takes him outside of that bubble. Protection, security notwithstanding. It takes him outside of the area where so many people love his father, support what his father does. Like attracts like. That's the life that he's been living in large part in Florida. Tied up at Mar-a-Lago, and there's the Tower. Which way is he going with that Tower, Spirit? Is that him breaking away? Notice the crown there. That would be his father. Is this him breaking away from his father, or fear of breaking away from his father. Show me Barron's mindset. It's fear of breaking away from his father. Wow. Eight of Swords. As twisted and crazy as this may sound, you all, and I think Melania has played her part in this, in casting Trump as their protector. Really. Casting him as their protector. And so there's a part of him that is going down this road politically and being groomed and recognizing he's casting his lot in with his father. And to the extent that we thought there was this great separation happening because he has been kept away and out of the limelight a lot. He's been very, very observant. Many of his friends, Spirit is saying, many of his friends, quote unquote friends in this, super elite school, their parents are Trump supporters. They have socialized together. So he has been fully indoctrinated. So get ready. Donald Trump Jr., Eric, and now we're going to have Barron. All right, you all. Moving on. Biden, Netanyahu. I mean, Netanyahu is, when he said, you all saw the quote, he said, listen, even if the U.S. takes away their weapons, that they will fight with their fingernails, clawing and scratching if that's what it comes down to. But they are gonna war. They are gonna war. They are warring to the warriest of warism. Settlement talks, who knows? It seems like right every time you get right there to the edge of it, next thing you know, we're in Rafah. We're going to do what we're going to do regardless. Hostages, clearly no longer really the goal. That was Netanyahu's premise, very much so in the early stages of the Gazan occupation and destruction. Now we know that, it's been declared after a couple of months of borderline famine. We have full-blown famine in the southern region of Gaza. Northern region, apparently now because of this Rafah invasion, it has also blocked some areas where humanitarian aid could get through to the citizens of Gaza. Palestinians are now starting to flee. Interestingly, and this is what I'm going to Spirit for, so many of you probably heard as well, the State Department had a report that was about to be released this week, Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, that would essentially accuse Israel of war crimes. And if that were the case, if that's the State Department's finding, with assistance from different humanitarian groups, people who've been there, etc., all the things that went into gathering the data for the report, that if this was to happen, then that could give Biden that justification and that leg up to say, guess what, I love y'all. I want to be there for you. My loyalty is forever, but I can't based on these findings. Like this, what's happening here is truly crossed a line to a point where the United States cannot stand behind this and support it, even as your closest ally. So that's part of what this report was going to do. Report suddenly got sidelined as the latest quote-unquote negotiations for the hostages being released, and the ceasefire seemed to be ratcheting up thanks to efforts by, I think it was Qatar, Egypt. But boom, next thing you know, Israel's gone into Rafah. Talks are delayed yet again. Ceasefire talks are delayed yet again. And now this report, Spirit, is this report going to come out now? The delay that was being put on it. The Biden administration delayed that report, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. Delayed that report pending the ceasefire talks. Is that report going to come out? Four of Pentacles, it's locked and loaded and ready. High Priestess. They're trying to still keep it under wraps as long as possible, because once that report comes out, you all, there's no turning back in terms of U.S. policy. They're waiting and waiting. Hangman, High Priestess, don't want to let it out just yet. Hangman trying to wait. Four of Pentacles, understanding there's a power struggle here. This goes back to the power struggle between Netanyahu and Biden believing in some way that he still held some form of sway with Netanyahu, while we've seen now time and time again, Netanyahu is basically, treating Biden like a fly. Get off me. Like an irritant. Very disrespectful. We have the Three of Pentacles. There's further work that they want to do on it. I get it. Thank you, Spirit. There is further work. The report is quote unquote ready, but there's some added work, because if in fact the Biden administration has to take the full on position of withdrawing aid to Israel, they want more. They want more in the report. They want more substantive, areas of proof of these quote unquote war crimes. I also think that the UN, which has alluded to that as well, Eight of Wands, excuse me. This report is coming, you all. They're buttoning it up. They're adding something else to it, because based on the way that Biden's going to have to come down on this, it's going to be no turning back. Once this report comes out, it's going to be no turning back. And that also means for Netanyahu, because at that point, Netanyahu is, yes, this is an ally in the Mideast region for us that we want to protect. And always there's this synergy, there's this feeling of loyalty that is extremely strong with Biden, who has been, mind you, in DC now for 30 something years. So his history and what he understands of the relationship between the US and Israel, he simply doesn't want to let that go or see that adjust in any way. He still remains very hopeful. He believes that ultimately, if we could get Netanyahu sidelined, that the U.S. can definitely continue its incredibly strong relationship with Israel. And just as I said that, I pulled the Two of Pentacles, that partnership with Israel. He wants it to stay strong, but he realizes that Netanyahu is 100% going off the rails. Like whatever the moon, off the rails, howling at the moon, got some issues. And he's worried about him. He's really worried about, Biden is really worried about what Netanyahu is capable of, as Netanyahu continues to show increasingly his conservative leaning, almost a little Putin-esque moves that he's making. And Biden is going to have to rely on, he's going to back himself up, and he's going to get ready to move on. The Chariot. Get ready, you all. The tensions in the relationships between the U.S. and Israel are going to increase, but it's only going to be around the leadership of Netanyahu. And somehow, some way, I think the Biden administration is going to be able to, or at least try to communicate that whatever moves are made to withdraw aid because of this continued aggression by Netanyahu, and to the extent that this report is going to demonstrate actual war crimes by the IDF, then there's going to be some back end messaging that says we are not turning our backs. The U.S. is not turning their backs on Israel, on the state of Israel. Always an ally, always there for you. However, in this particular leadership situation, look what's happening, and this is not, we can't stand behind this. I also am getting, they're telling me, which we've already seen, this is going to prompt more resistance among Israelis, who also see that Bibi is leading them down a path that they just do not want to go. This has grown so far beyond October 7th and the hostages and those killings of, horrific, terrible, wrong killings of those innocent people out there just trying to have a good time at a music festival. Over 1,200 of them. That notwithstanding, what is being done as a result of that, whether it's a land grab, which, there are lots of indications that this is a land grab. Prince of Cups, Seven of Pentacles, yep, and the King of Wands. It's a land grab. There's a resistance to a two-party state, and to the extent that that they can just get rid of as many Palestinians off of those lands as possible, even if it means destroying those lands and then having to go in and decide how they want to rebuild it. That is a part of the situation, you all. But I do think that this report is going to give Biden what he needs, the Biden administration and officials, Blinken, etc. What they need to be able to say, this isn't personal. This is because we have the facts to prove what is being done, and it is unacceptable. It has crossed over into the line of, or into the category of actual war crimes, and we can't continue to fund that. All right, let's see what happens. And finally, I want to end today with some good news, interesting news. So we've all heard about Ron DeSantis's crusade against books and banning books in schools, and took off like wildfire because, and as it turns out, Florida is responsible for, we've got now over 4,000 books at the latest counting, 4,000, almost 4,400 books in the nation's national schools that have been yanked this school year, which is now ending. And 72% of those books, so over 3,000 of those books started in Florida. They were first banned in Florida, and then other red states, etc., caught wind of it and pulled those same books. Here's the absurdity. The way the law currently stands in Florida, the way that DeSantis crafted it, and now because it's gone haywire or is going haywire, he's trying to backtrack of that. But anyway, anybody, whether you have a kid in the school system or not, anybody could go and make a complaint to the Board of Education and say, this book in the school is twisted in some kind of way and it should be banned. It is giving children, it is grooming children, it's over-sexualizing children, it's twisting children's views of the accuracy of history, whatever it is, whatever premise they want, they could go in. And then automatically, de facto, the school system, the libraries have to go and pull that book just on somebody's say-so, pending then on the back end of it an investigation as to whether or not that particular book is warranted to be banned. Okay, so just any old Joe Blow can go in and say, and they can do so once a month. So a person could complain about a book because they got an axe to grind. School system has to pull that book, gets caught up in red tape who knows how long while it's supposedly investigated whether or not it's appropriate. That same person can go back a month later. Every month somebody can go in and report a book. So again, that's how we arrived at this 4,000 and some odd books. But the good news is an author by the name of Lauren Groff has opened in Gainesville in Florida using a state animal, the lynx, which is known to Florida. And so she's called it the Lynx Bookstore in Gainesville, and their motto is bite back, right? Now fight back, but bite back, using again the lynx. And apparently the store is doing very well, and she's featuring in this, she and her husband are running the bookstore, featuring all these banned books. And apparently when they opened, there were hundreds of people in line waiting. Gainesville is also a major college town in the state of Florida, so it's going to generate a lot of interest. But this is really beautiful, and she's been getting apparently donations from all across the country. People have caught wind of what she's doing, protecting freedom of expression, and doing so in the state of Florida, which is really, really special. So I'm wondering, I want to go to Spirit and see if, in fact, that will catch on, if there's going to be some momentum where we're going to get more bookstores. And also because she is an author, a best-selling author, by the way, Lauren Groff, Groff. She is, if I'm not mistaken, she's from Florida, and she writes books that are Florida-esque. But she has gotten tremendous support from authors and publishing houses around the country for obvious reasons. But that means there is momentum. There is something building there. And I'm asking Spirit if, in fact, there will be more bookstores that crop up around the country that feature these banned books. Seven of Cups and the Ace of Wands. Because right now, there's this is, I think this is also about where it would be, you know, the areas in the country, in these red states, mind you. So that takes a degree of courage as well, you know, to be able to you know, bite back. But yes, that Ace of Wands, you know, when I get my aces, you know, that's my yes. So that Ace of Wands is like, absolutely, we're gonna make sure that that these books remain accessible. And I got the World. Talk about spreading it, right? So these banned books are not only. I feel like there's a European component to this, or some other sort of global support for this as well. But yeah, watch out between the Ace of Wands and the World, you all. Lauren Groff has got something going here. Eventually, I do think that the school systems will in and of themselves begin to sort some of this out and bring some books back, especially as we enter into a different administration. Biden gets reelected, some laws and some things. Unfortunately, Florida's stuck with DeSantis until 2026. But I think this is going to be, if his future depends on what he will see as a tremendous backlash from this. We all know he'll do whatever's necessary. But yeah, bravo to Lauren Groff and the Lynx bookstore, biting back in Florida with the banned books. Wishing the most success, and I hope in fact it does catch on. All right, you all, that's what I got for you today. Have a fabulous day, a fabulous weekend, and I'll talk to you really soon. Don't forget, please hit that like and subscribe button. I love your comments as well. It helps the videos to get out there, trying to grow my channel. I really appreciate your support. Take good care.